Recently I reached 50 watchers over on my DeviantArt account, and I decided to do a 5-slot request giveaway as thanks to those who helped me reach that target. Today I'm drawing the last of the 5 requests. All 5 of the slots have now been filled, so thank you to those who put in a request. I'll also be doing the same here on YouTube when I reach 50 subscribers, so if you aren't yet subscribed, click that subscribe button and ring the bell to move that counter that bit closer and keep an eye out. So our request here today was from Mega Mike 823. Mega Mike requested their fairy OC Lily and her pet moth. They provided me with the references I needed for this character, including the pose they wanted and permission to make small changes such as to the colour of Lily's pet's wings. I started off by sketching out the overall pose. At first I wasn't focusing too much on the clothing and more on making sure the pose looked correct. Once the pose was done though, I moved on to designing the dress. I modelled it after flowers and plants of various sorts, including some bluebell sleeves and a bindweed tendril belt. Once I finished the sketch, I lowered the opacity, created a new layer and started on the line art. I used a brush with the opacity controlled by pen pressure to get a softer look. Now that I'm done with the line art, it's time to colour it. I began by using the fill tool, but soon switched to just brushing it in to make sure the colour got in under the soft lines without spilling over. And now it's time for highlights and shading. I'm using a brush with a lower opacity with the button press, which lets the opacity be governed by pen pressure, and using one layer for shading with a multiply blend mode and one for highlights with a screen blend mode. I used the magic wand tool, rather appropriate here, to select the colours and make a mask from the selection so I could shade freely without the shading going over the lines. And lastly, the background. I thought, considering fairies are generally small, I'd put her and her pet on a big leaf, but still have it tilting down slightly, as even fairies aren't completely weightless and would still exert a little gravity on the leaf. I put in a dewdrop for an extra touch, and a blurred background behind. And with that, I was done. Let's have a look at the final piece.